Word up. I didn't appreciate as much as I do now the experience that I went through with Pizza
Hmm.
Hut. The fact that there was so many different people from so many different walks of life. Like we had a crew that four of them, it was either four or five of them that were related to each other. That they would come down from the Bronx. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Yeah.
It was
Phyllis, I know it was Phyllis.
yes.
Fuck. Yeah. The sisters, and it was all women. It was the four sisters or cousins or something like that.
Yeah, it was two girls that were
But
cousins,
nah,
and then the twin aunts, and then one of their uncles was the driver.
yeah,
He would always have a
nah, they
do
were
rag.
crazy.
Funny as shit, bro. But
They were
then we
crazy
had
for
the
real.
extreme. We had a supervisor that was Italian, uh, a supervisor that was
Andy,
Irish. Yeah, Andy. Dude, people used to talk shit
yeah.
about him, but he was actually pretty darn cool.
Now he was funny as hell. He walked around like he thought he was an Italian mobster guy. I'm like, bro, shut the hell up. The way he just like buff and tough and walking around, it was hilarious. I saw him one day in Chicago, pizzeria. He's a funny dude.
Wow.
Yeah,
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 he was a goofball, bro. That dude, I used to love that about him. He's like, as long as you're like willing to chill with him, he'll chill with you. But most of the time, everyone was always scared of him because he had like such a serious face. But he was just one
yeah.
of the fellas. He just wanted to chill
Nah,
and make
yeah,
money.
absolutely. He
How
was a
about them
cool
dudes
cat.
from Left Right, the cousins?
Cousins from left, right.
Yeah, one was Mooch,
Mooch.
Mooch with the dreads. He used to work part time. Then his
Okay.
cousin was the one that introduced him to work there first. That he was also he had moved there from down south.
Nah, I don't remember them too.
It's all good because they started working little by little. They were working less and less hours, and then they just stopped working.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why. But dude, he used to put in some hours.
yeah. I'm telling you, Pizza Hut was a spot. Shit. That shit introduced me because at nighttime, did you work at night? I think you worked in mornings, right?
Oh, I work mornings on Saturdays. Saturdays I used to open,
Because
and
I know I used to work at nights, and then the strippers that would go in there, bro, to eat pizza, it would be fucking hilarious. These drunk bitches from next door, from Wiggles, remember Wiggles?
yeah, I remember Wiggles.
Bro. And then I got along with the manager. He would bring me in from time to time. I'd be just watching and shit. Like, yo, these bitches look nasty. Yeah, but nah, they hilarious. When at the end of the shift, when they all drunk and getting pizza, yo, it was the best. It was like a whole TV show right there. I used to love it, man. For
Oh
real.
man, you know I told my wife that story about we worked right next door to Wiggles, and they
Yeah.
would basically just let us go in there for free. And I told her my nephew used to go sometimes, but he was like, yeah, it's all right. But I never really went in. They used to
Yeah.
always invite us, but if anything, Julito went a few times, but he really didn't care much for it because no, he had no problem getting girls back in the day anyway. So,
Yo, shh, my wife is here. She's listening.
well, this goes to
I'm just,
show that you were still a gentleman though, because
yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
care much to go on the Wiggles anyway.
Nah, I would go in there, no lie, I would go in there just to see the rich Indian guys be just giving up their money and just looking at everybody. Like I said,
All
like
the suckers.
all the suckers. I'm telling you, you learn a lot when you just watch and just listen. You know what I'm saying? How you don't become a sucker? Watch the suckers be suckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Basically.
observe and report.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, is this motherfucker really gonna? Oh, he needs to be careful. He's about to. Oh, I knew it.
yeah.
You ever seen it had moments like that you knew that someone was about to get fucked up? Like, wait a second, these two are gonna fight.
Bro, I be having TV shows in my head, like just putting one and two together and watching, like, oh, this shit about to go down. Just watching shit in my head. It'd be crazy. But damn, man, memories back in the day. I tell you.
Word up, but I certainly experienced. I never got to experience the so-called violent Bushwick that Emmy used to go to Bushwick and Willie used to go to Bushwick and they always talk about how violent Bushwick was, and I'm like, I didn't experience none of that when I was in Bushwick.
Nah, Bushwick was kind of tough. Like I got into a lot of fights. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I got into a lot of scraps. And one of the reasons that I always thought that I would always get into fights is because nobody knew what I was or where I come from. You know, because I was always high school hopping and going to different schools. Even when I was in junior high, Ada was always having us move around. So I never, you know, grew roots into any certain area where I got to know people. So no one knew who I was. No one knew, is he white? Is he Spanish? Is he Hawaiian? Niggas used to always call me Hawaiian and Ecuadorian for some reason. I don't know why. That used to trip me the fuck up. And I used to get into fights because they would say shit. And then back in the day, I had a short fuse, you know? So.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. But you know what? It did work to your advantage because in the end, you were always really smart. I'm preaching to the choir. You know this. Mean you were about to be skipped 2 grades when you were in elementary school.
Yeah.
What was it, 2 or 3 grades, something like that?
It was 2 grades back in the 6th grade and the 7th grade. You know, I'd be in my class just looking at this dumb teacher. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'll be correcting their work. I'm like, no, it's not. Now, I remember I was in a social studies class. I got detention because I told the teacher, you know, that they were wrong about a certain event in history. And then when I was in detention, I opened my book up. I'm like, let me show him this. Like, bro, look what the book says. So I'm in detention. Why? Felt like an ass. Sent me home right away like that, you know?
Oh, man. Dude, but that kind of thinking is really what helps a person survive. I mean, Uncle Raymond, when he sees this, he's going to be so proud hearing this because he went through something like that in college.
Oh,
His professor had to change his grade because of that same thing. He's like, wait a second, this is not the same thing. I think it was something along the sides of what his something he was explaining about Egyptian mythology.
Right.
And then the teacher tried telling him that that Egyptian mythology is not true and Greek mythology is facts.
What?
And he was like, they're both mythology.
Yeah.
So he had to change his score afterwards. It's like, see? And he wasn't going to stay quiet because my brother outsmarted him and he went to the proper channels and 2 days later, done.
That's crazy. And you know, when I started going to college, I didn't know you could do that where you can, like, let's say you got your, what's it called? They give you your syllabus, you see everything, but you could test out of classes. Did you know that? Yo, I got into college. I was like, test out. Let me get the test now. I remember I was doing my my technology course on computer engineering. And I dropped out of school after that because I was working. I mean, like I said, I was always focused on getting money. But I went to some school out in North Carolina where I found out that you could test out a class and you get the credits. You still have to pay, but you don't have to go to the class if you test out. I took that shit. I said 98. I'm out. There you go. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this shit. I've been building computers since I was 9. Get out of here.
Oh man, that's funny. That's freaking great.
Because I would get mad. Theo, look, how you figure, like you into music? How you figure you go to a college for music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they start teaching you, you know, how to read notes and stuff, and you've been playing music since how long? How you gonna feel inside? I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. Like seeing people struggling to understand music when you've been doing music since your childhood. You know, that's the feeling I'm talking about. You know?
No, I feel you. It's true. Ironically, now that you say this, right now I'm taking a course on IT, and a lot of it I'm just like click, 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 breeze through. I finish pretty much a week's worth within like an hour because I'm skipping through so much stuff. Is like you said, you've been building computers since you were a kid, and I'm like, I've been building computers for quite some time as well, and like, you know, I'll just skip right through it. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and just read through all of this shit. But dating a little way back before our time, are you familiar with the name Tom Dowd?
What is it again?
Tom Dowd.
Time Dowd?
Tom.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom Dowd.
Dowd. No, I never heard of him.
Well, he was a sound engineer.
Okay.
For a lot of artists from Motown.
Okay.
And he influenced so much different sounds and, you know, how they deal with multi-track recording and stuff like that. And there was a time like this dude was top dog. He was actually part of the what's that called, the Manhattan Project.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
The nuclear bomb Manhattan Project.
yep, he was part of that, and he didn't even know. They took him. They took him in. It was about I think it was 2 or 3 weeks to that he was around like scientists and lab and researchers and stuff like that. And he helped them, push a lot of theories through and change it from theory to actually putting it into practice.
Right.
The problem was is that after he was done, he had gone back to school and he had to take the classes all over again and prove a lot of their theories that are inside of the textbooks wrong. And he's like, I'm fuck that. I'm just going to continue with my sound engineering. Because he wanted to become believe it was a chemist. And he said, fuck this. I'm not going to start all over again.
That's facts, man. And that makes me think about things like that I heard a couple of times before, that history is written by the conqueror or whoever wins. And I think about our school books. How many times have they been changed? It's always who's writing these school books and who's not allowing them to write, these things. Sometimes these school books are wrong, because I remember stuff that they were saying in my history books, and I look at history books from today, and this shit is all wrong. We have to really look into, what we're feeding our children. That's why when I have my child, I'm trying my best to get them into private school and make sure I know the material that's given is accurate, because I can't have my child listening to lies. You know what I'm saying?
No, word up, like the whole redundancy of empathy. Like seriously, like empathy you learn in your house. Like basically, you learn how to not get fucked up. That's empathy.
Mm-hmm.
But now empathy is you learn how to feel exactly what the other person's feeling. It's like, I don't want to know what the other person's feeling when they're constipated or when they're pissed off. Like, I don't want to be pissed off too. I want to care for someone and tell them like the truth. So then in that case, they can relate. Or not to go too far, I'd rather teach somebody how to fish than to give them a fish every time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like I said before. The kids today are being pampered. We shouldn't be worrying about, oh, you got a boo-boo. Like, no, it should be, what made you get that boo-boo? Make sure you don't do that shit that gets you get the boo-boo, and you won't have a boo-boo in the future. Now I'm going to pat you on the head. Oh, you got a boo-boo? Here's a Band-Aid and a lollipop. Get the fuck out of here. That's what's wrong with people today. Everybody cares about everybody's feelings. No, the Constitution doesn't say anything about feelings. It says the pursuit of happiness. It says your right to do this, your right to do that. It says nothing else about feelings. There's nothing in the Constitution about feelings. Nothing in history about feelings. You know what I'm saying? Show me where in history where empires were built on feelings. Don't worry, I'll wait.
I would have loved to have seen the pyramids been built on feelings.
A bit of better flowers. Get out of here.
We're dehydrated. I don't like these conditions. The sun is too strong. It's too hot. I don't appreciate this. People are screaming. Oh my God, people are dying. Like, okay, well.
I can see the pharaohs now. He said, what? He said, what? What? Give me some slaves.
Holy shit.